let's start our monthly tutorial, as you know. So first of all, welcome to one of our Cancer Vision Project events. As you know, we are publishing continuously texts from Jamma Khyentse Wangpo that are translated into English, and we have a website where you can visit them, read them, contemplate on them, practice them, embody them. And to make these texts more accessible, we always organize like a monthly teaching. So 10 days ago, we had Stotoko Rinpoche teaching on today's text. And today we have the monthly tutorial. Today with the one and only gifted translator, Maite Castellano Mentxaka, I hope I pronounced it correctly, who translated the text that we will discuss today, which is called Swift Bestowal of Blessings, a supplication calling the sources of refuge from afar. And that is really like a very pithy and profound prayer, about devotion, aspiration, paying homage. And it is in the Sakya context, as you will see. There is some supplication to great masters of the Sakya lineage. And then, we are asking for their blessing, basically, to deepen our renunciation, meaning that we are losing interest in samsara, and that instead we give rise to the enlightened heart of bodhicitta. And then we do all that in order to realize the view. And then there's also like a tantric section in the end, or the last third of the text, where we talk about the ground path and fruit of the tantric tradition. So that's what we will cover today. And first, Maite will guide us a little bit through topics like translation and lineage and how that is interconnected. And then we will talk about Guru devotion and Guru yoga. And then we will go through the entire text with few footnotes here and there. And then Maite and myself, we will try to guide an analytical meditation or contemplative meditation on this text. And before I hand over the mic and stage to Maite, let's start with refuge prayer and a prayer to Jamma Khyentse Wangpo. So we do it in English. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha sublime, we seek refuge until awakening. By virtue of our giving and the like, may we awaken to benefit all. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha sublime, we seek refuge until awakening. By virtue of our giving and the like, may we awaken to benefit all. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha sublime, we seek refuge until awakening. By virtue of our giving and the like, may we awaken to benefit all. And then there's a prayer to Jamma Khyentse Wangpo. The blessing of Manjushri appearing as the emanation of Vimalamitra, the 30th rebirth of Gyaltse Laje, Pema Dongak Lingpa, holder of the 7 special transmissions, Jamma Khyentse Wangpo, to you we pray. Okay, so Maite, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Arne. Well, first of all, I would like to share a few thoughts about the translation and the importance of the lineage and receiving the blessings of the lineage when one is translating. And also, first of all, I would like to emphasize that the translation is not always, I mean, it's not only one person, it is a group, it is a team. And this is something that I think is very important to emphasize. That is, I mean, of course, my name is there because, we have to designate one name to the translation. But the truth is that there is a teamwork with Jemmy as the person who reviewed the whole translation, Amelia, who was editing the whole translation, Kempo Choyin, who was supervising and clarifying all the doubts. So it is actually the translation, it is actually the product of interdependence. And that's also something that is beautiful to contemplate as well. And then, secondly, some reflections I would like to share on the importance of lineage and receiving the blessings of lineage when one is translating one text is with my experience with this text, for example. Like, you cannot just get the dictionary and, you know, like look for the words in the dictionary and just translate like word by word of the lineage, because of the prayer, because it would be like nonsense. I would probably do lots of mistakes. I would not really understand what is going on behind the lines of the prayer. That is why it's so important to have like the presence of a living master who is there, who has received all the blessings from the lineage, who has the knowledge on the lineage as well. And so this communication with someone who is a teacher, like for instance Kempo Choyin in my case, to whom I could ask as many questions as I wanted, or my classmate Damcho Gelsen, who is a translator in the Sakya tradition, it is I mean, it is indispensable. Like it's something which is really important to have these blessings of the lineage in order to really get the understanding, the proper understanding of the text, and the meaning behind the words and the lines of the text. And in my experience with this text, this has been like very, very obvious. I mean, with this text and with every text that I translate, this is very obvious, like the how important is to have like the presence of a living master who is gonna somehow illuminate all the doubts on the meaning of certain words and expressions. And that's something that we need to reflect upon in terms of translation of the Dharma and Dharma text in the Dharma. So these were like a few reflection or thoughts I wanted to share with you on the translation.
And Maite, one small question, because you're mentioning Kempo Choyin. Many of us and know and love Kempo Choyin Dorje, but you are referring to Kempo Choyin Lundrup, right?
That's right. Kempo
Could you say one sentence about him?
Yeah, sure. So Kempo Choyin Lundrup, he is one of the Kempos from Songsar monastery, and he studied there. But at some point, he was appointed to be the abbot of Sonada monastery, and he has been coming to Spain for many years. I've translated for him many times, so I have a very close relationship with him. And but he's a Kempo from Songsar monastery.
Super good, thank you. And to everybody, I forgot to mention at the beginning, the whole event here should also be a little bit workshop-y or interactive. So please raise your virtual hand if you want to discuss anything, you know. So Maite and I will always alternate with our presentations, but in between there's always space and time. Could you please share the names in the chat? Yes, wait, I show you the text because we always mention the names there. So here we have the text we are going through, translated by Maite, who is here. Then Kempo Choyin Lundrup, that Maite was just talking about. Jamie Creek is one of our in-house important team members, and Amelia is one of our editors. And so that is the team that Maite was referring to. Okay. Then, yeah, how did you put it? Yeah, so the translation is like a result of interdependence, you know, like it's a team work coming together. And I guess we can say that also about our next topic for today when we talk about Guru devotion and Guru yoga. this is also something where many different factors come together, and then a result is happening that might be even greater than the sum total of, or like greater than the sum of each individual factor. So when we talk about Guru Yoga in Tibetan Buddhism, yeah, then that is always a practice where we try to remove the gap, between our normal samsaric mind and the awakened wisdom mind of the Buddhas. So we try to remove that distance, or that we're bridging that gap, and we do that, through devotional practice that we will find in this text, where we pray to lineage gurus and to our own master, the guru, and understanding that, the guru's wisdom mind has never been separated from the Buddha's wisdom mind, and that my mind, my samsaric mind, by nature, is also not divorceable, from that wisdom mind. So we are sort of invoking that blessing, that wisdom, that realization, seemingly from outside, but actually we are invoking that from within, because that is our true nature of mind. We are Buddhas by nature, as the term Buddha nature suggests. But tragically, temporarily, what else? Adventitiously, we are obscured. We are not seeing our true nature. So therefore, we invoke the guru, see him or her as the Buddha, or we know that he or she is the Buddha. And then, we are receiving blessing. We are dissolving this wisdom mind with our mind. In other words, we are awaken what is already sort of inherently in us, And so we are revealing that through devotion and through direct experience. And to do so, this text starts with I think Ina has already posted the links to the text, so we will not share that here, so that we can also share other things on the screen. So please, if you feel like, open the text. And the text starts, of course, with the short title, Swift Bestowal of Blessings. And that then starts with the three jewels, the unfailing heart essence of refuge. So here we are always going back to the roots, right? We are going back to the three jewels, the Buddha who discovered that truth that I was just talking about, this wisdom mind, who then shared that truth with us, which is the Dharma. And then we have the followers, who are also truth seekers, and who ideally support each other, inspire each other on the path, so that we all are able to discover that truth within. And just as we have done in the prayer, that's always the start, the start of any practice, that we reconnect with the three jewels. Okay, then Maite.
So we are in the second line, right? Like you just covered the first line, right? Which is the three jewels, unfailing heart essence of refuge. And then we are going to the second line, which is the Guru, the Jidam, Dakini, and Dharma protectors. So it's the first invocation. And then, as Arne, he mentioned the three jewels, which are the essence of refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And then it continues like with the invocation of the three roots, which is the Lama, who is the root of all blessings, or the Lamas, who are the root of all blessings, through whom we receive all these blessings we were talking about. And then the jidams, or the deities, the practice of the deities, which are the root of the accomplishment, the siddhis. And then the kinis and the dharma protectors, who are the root of the activity, the enlightened activity. So these are the three roots, which are the refuge of the Vajrayana, right? The Vajrayana tradition. So, and then after this, we're going to see the different masters of the lineage, of the Sakya lineage. I will also share, let me see if I can change, wait. What are you seeing now? Are you seeing
the text?
You're seeing the text, okay. So this sharing the screen with so many screens I have. Now, can you see this?
Yes.
All right, all right. So this is what we want to share. So now we will, Arne will explain one of the teachers who are mentioned in the prayer, and then I will explain a little bit the next one, and we will alternate in the explanation of each of the teachers who are mentioned in this prayer. Arne.
Thank you. Yeah, so we will talk about three great Sakya masters, and you know, Tibetans always like to make it short and pithy, so they are known as like Sa, Ngo, Tsa, Sum, like the three Sa, Ngo, and Tsa, because their names begin like that. Sashin Kunga Ningpo, Ngoshen Vajradhara, and then Sashin Losal Gyatso. And just as a small disclaimer, so the first one, even though in our text it says Sakya Pandita, emanation of Yogosha, Maite did some research with some experts, and they are agreeing that we are actually talking about Sashin Kunga Ningpo here and not Sakya Pandita. And yes, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, let me clarify, because this has been a very recent discussion. Actually, it happened yesterday. That's why Cancer Vision Project couldn't maybe correct the text. But Khenpo Choyin Lundrup, he was explaining that because this the next section of the prayer is talking about these three foundational masters of the Sakya lineage, which is the Sakya, the Ngor, and the Sar. So then in the Sakya, in the prayer that it says emanation of Manjugotsa. So it's in Tibetan Chamjan Chulpen Namrol Sakyapa. So actually Khenpo Choyin Lundrup, he was explaining it can all actually refer to the whole Sakyapa lineage. I mean, in the whole kind of Sakyapa subdivision of the Sakya lineage. But if we are talking about the master, like the foundational master of that particular sublineage, then it should be Sachin Kunga Nyingpo, because he's previous to Sakya Pandita. But actually, there is no real mistake, so to say, if we say Sakya Pandita as well, because Sakya Pandita is also an emanation of Manjuri, as well as Sachin Kunga Nyingpo is also an emanation of Manjuri, and the whole kind of Sakya sublineage is an emanation of Manjuri. So this is the thing with the Tibetan, right? And this is the thing with that we were talking about, the blessings of the lineage, right? Like how condensed is in Tibetan, then how immense is the meaning that is within one line, right? So it's Khenpo Choyin, and then also my friend Damcho Gyaltsen, he was explaining that the main, like the foundational master of this lineage should be actually Sachin Kunga Nyingpo. Yeah.
Yeah, whom you see here on the upper left. So you see he was born in the end of the 11th century, lived for 66 years. And I'm sure you have heard his name in the context of parting from the four attachments, you know, this very, very pithy instructions that I think he was 8 years old. One early morning, he had a vision or direct encounter with Manjushri. And then he received these 4 lines, you know. Tsongtse Khyentse Rinpoche taught on these 4 lines 2009 in IBA. There's also a transcript if you want to read that. And Rinpoche, let me remember, he was sort of saying, we should translate it like with falling in love, you know. If you are in love with this life, you know, you are not a Dharma practitioner, you know. Or if you are in love with samsara, you don't have renunciation. or if you're in love with your own benefit, you don't have bodhicitta. And if you have any falling in love, you don't have the view. So he was using that, what we usually call attachment or grasping. And our dear translator, Christian Bernard from Cancer Vision Project, I'm just sharing a link in the chat. He just recently, when it was Sakatrician's birthday, he published this commentary by Khenpo Abe Rinpoche on these 4 lines, and it is also downloadable for free. Yeah, so this is, for me, how I always remember Sachin Khongya Ningpo. Through this famous and important text, Parting from the 4 Attachments. He himself was the son of the first Sakya throne holder, Khön Konchok Gyalpo, but since the father passed away a little bit early, he couldn't be enthroned as the second, but then there was Varilotserpa in between, and then Sachin Khongya Ningpo was then the 3rd throne holder. And then, Maite, we come to the next one.
So the next one, as you can see, is Ngorchen Kunga Sampo. So in the prayer we read Ngorchen Bagradara, protector of the wall, Lokanata. So that's actually Avalokitesvara or Chenresi. So here actually that's also important. We need to see that in the mention of these 3 foundational masters of the Sakya lineage, there is also a relationship with the 3 bodhisattvas, which is Manjuri, in like Sachin Khongya Ningpo and the whole Sakya passive lineage, and then Ngor is the emanation of Chenresi in this case, and then the next one that we will see is the emanation of Bakrapani. So there is also this connection with these 3 bodhisattvas, which is also beautiful. And then here we are talking about, when we say Ngorchen Bagradara, we are talking about Ngorchen Kunga Sampo, who is from the 14th and 15th century, and he's the one who established the Ngor lineage. And when he was 48, that's when he founded the monastery, the first monastery, Ngor Ewan Choden Gompa, which is near Tsigatse, I believe, in Utsan, in the central Tibet. And then it developed, afterwards it developed into the seat of the Ngor sub-tradition. And so this monastery is divided into 4 monastic states, which is Ludin, Kamsar, Tarse, and Pende. And this I mention in this because afterwards we will see the teachers of Jamyang Khyentse Whampo who belong to this Tarse subdivision of the Ngor monastery. And so then here it is said, like, I was researching a little bit because I'm not so familiar with the Sakya lineage, to be honest. So I was researching for all of this, and I was enjoying a lot the process. And then I found that it seems that Ngorchen Kunga Sampo, he was in the Sakya monastery, but at some point he found it very active. And then he wanted to find like a more remote place, like a more kind of secluded. And that's when he found this place, and he founded this monastery, Ngor Ewan Choden. And also one important, something which is interesting, it was the first vegetarian monastery in Tibet, which is very unusual for like the 14th and 15th century vegetarian. He was vegetarian in the 14th and 15th century in Tibet, which is quite unusual, I think. So anyway, there is a very nice book on Ngorchen Kunga Sampo called Bagradara in Human Form, The Life and Times of Ngorchen Kunga Sampo by George Heimbel, if I am pronouncing it well. And then, so among the many students of Kunga Sampo included the next 7 abbots of Ngor. So there are the different abbots. There are many of them up to today. Nowadays, I think we are in number 77, I believe. And so the subsection of the throne, Ngor throne, the throne holders, it is like the succession, it comes on basis of the spiritual attainments. So Ngorchen Kunga Sampo, he was the first throne holder of this Ngor monastery. And then afterwards also like the teachers, we will see it later, the teachers of Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo were also the throne holders of this Ngor monastery. And I pass it on to you.
Okay, then we are coming to the third one here. Now the Vajrapani, who is like, representing the power, like Manjushri representing our wisdom, Avalokiteshvara, our compassion, and then Vajrapani, the power. So we have here the line in our text, Lord of the Dharma, Tsarshan, sovereign holder of the secrets, which is another term for Vajrapani. Yeah, so he was then living much later in the 16th century, and he was starting the Tsar lineage, which was very much connected with the Mahakala practices and also with what they called, these 13 Dharma, golden Dharmas, which include Vajrayogini practices and so on. So Tsarshan Losal Gyatso was also writing important commentaries and practices, for the Hivajra practice and also the Vajrayogini practice. And also the fifth Dalai Lama, who was super open-minded, he wrote the biography of Tsarshan Losal Gyatso. Okay, I keep it short, otherwise we will be here forever. Maite, next one is yours.
This text is really so profound. It's really deep, this text. There is a lot of meaning in this text. So anyway, next one is in the text reads Tarse Bagradara, protector of the mandala. So this is, again, these are the teachers of Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, and actually also we see again the blessings of the lineage in the teachings of by Dotulku Rinpoche last week or last 2 weeks ago. He was explaining that actually, even though now here it is referred as Tarse Khyentse Champakunga Tenzin, who is the one who has requested Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo to compose this text, but in fact, it may refer to the two Tarse brothers, as you can see here in this image, two Tarse brothers, who both of them were the two of the main root teachers of Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. So the first one, the older, was Tarse Khyentse Champakunga Tenzin, and then the younger brother, he was Tarse Nalchor Champel Sampo. So both of them from the 18th and the 19th century, right? So we mostly hear about the older Tarse brother, Khyentse Champakunga Tenzin. There is a little bit more references and resources on Tarse Khyentse Champakunga Tenzin. Champakunga Tenzin, he was the 47th strongholder of this Ngor monastery, Ngor Ewan Chode monastery. And he was actually the nephew and a student of Champa Namka Chime, who was the 44th strongholder of Ngor monastery. So, and then his brother, Nelchor Champel Sampo, he was the 51st strongholder of the Ngor monastery. So they were all, as we saw earlier, they were all connected to the Ngor monastery in the Tarse subsection, so to say. So Champakunga Tenzin, he met Jamyang Khyentse when he was 3 years old only, because Champakunga Tenzin went to Derge and he was serving as a court chaplain. And then the next year or so, then he gave Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo the lay vows first. And then when Jamyang Khyentse was 12 years old, so he was very young still, then that's when Tarse Khenpo Champakunga Tenzin, he identified Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo as the reincarnation of his teacher, Champa Namkachime, that we mentioned before, and his uncle. So, as we say, the 44th throne holder of Ngor, Champa Namkachime, was the uncle of Champa Kunga Tenzin. So he was the previous reincarnation of Jamian Kensewampo. That's what that's how Jamian Kensewampo was recognized and identified, and that's how, like, the relationship, so to say, started. So Arne, it's your turn.
Okay. Then we are here praying or requesting blessings from Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. I guess I don't have to explain much about him. I'm sure you have heard of him a lot so far. But then there's also and so forth. So here you can include all the lineage masters also that you feel connected to, especially traditionally those who come after Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. So you can include your own gurus and whoever inspires you, you know. So so that also makes it a living lineage, you know, from a distant time until the present moment. Okay, Maite.
So so we see how this prayer mentioned these three foundational masters of the Sakya lineage, plus the root teachers of Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, and Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo himself, which is, sometimes we can wonder, how is Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo mentioning himself in the prayer? Well, because Champa Kunga Tenzin will ask him to grow this, to compose this prayer, right? So anyway, as a Guru Yoga, and this was also explained by Dr. Tulku Rinpoche, how it is. It serves as a Guru Yoga practice, right? So anyway, then next in the prayer, it reads the entire assembly of the ocean of refuge, the three jewels, and so here, I mean, we don't really need to mention the three jewels. Everyone here, I think, knows the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. So we think that all of them are present, and we, you know, it's like in this invocation, we are also invoking all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and so on.
And then it says, I call you from the depths of my heart. So that means, with intense devotion, and we really mean it. Please look upon me with your eyes of wisdom. So we are not really telling them what to do, right? That would be not so polite. But it's usually more understood like we are remembering that they look on us, you know, at us. So we remember that they know us, you know, and that they are caring for us. So it's more like us opening up to their enlightened activities that they are doing already. Okay, this would end this, let's say, Guru Yoga, Guru Devotion section. So is there any question? Yes, Swan.
I just switched the settings so everyone can unmute themselves, so it's gonna work now.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks so much. It's totally over the top of my head. It's going very fast, but I would kindly ask you to please go to this last verse where you refer to this, please look upon me with your eyes of wisdom. Could you possibly go a little more into detail of the phrasing, of the wording in the Tibetan? What is the verb exactly, and how is this expression more in detail with wisdom? I mean, I recognize Yeshe, but everything else is completely beyond me.
Arne, you want me to reply?
I think it's a question to the translator.
Thank you.
Ask me.
Right. Let me share the text again. I think this is the right screen. My screen is, can you see my screen? No, what do you see? No, wait.
I can do it. Wait, just this line here.
Yeah, please.
We are looking into that.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Great. So in the Tibetan, Nine Bodo Jese Chengisik. So Nine is from my heart, right? Nine Bodo. Bo is like I call you, I'm calling upon you, please, I call to you. And then Nine, from the depths of my heart, and then Yese Chengisik. So your eyes of wisdom, Yese Gichen, right? So Yese Gichen is the eyes of wisdom. So it's like we just invoked like the whole lineage master, as well as the 3 Jivas and the 3 roots and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And, you know, it's kind of like if all of them were present, the space would be completely filled up with, you know, all the lineage teachers, all the teachers from the lineage, as well as all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And it's like now is the time, okay, please think of me. Like you are like, with your eyes of wisdom, your eyes of wisdom, Gi Sik. So Sik is to look upon, right? Like to please look upon me, like Chenre Sik, right? Chenre Sik is the same, like look this. So that's what yeah, that's what is in the text. So that is why it is translated as, please look upon me with your eyes of wisdom. Does that answer your question?
Thank you so much. So if I understand correctly, technically there's no please per se, but it's rather within this supplication. And also, if I understand correctly, it's so this sik does mean to look or to see me with your eyes of vision, or is it?
Yeah.
This look upon is really so much more. As anyway, thank you so much. It totally answers.
Yeah, sik is the to look. It's like the honorific word of seen.
Okay.
Seen or looking upon, like, you know, Chenresik, for instance, Chenresik, you know, Chenresik, that's the same one, you know, that's the same Chen, Sik. So it's like this Sik is this actually, of course, it's to see, but it's also to look upon in a way. It's kind of take care of us, like don't forget us. I mean, there's a lot of, I think that there is a lot involved in that expression. It's like
so it's almost like, may we be seen by your eyes of wisdom?
Yeah, it's like please don't forget us in a way. Like,
yeah.
May we be under your protection. In a way. May we be under your eyes. So, like if may we be under your vision as well, right? Like and therefore under your protection. So look upon us and take care of us in a way. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, that is exactly how it's written. But yeah, what I try to explain is more like how Cancer Rinpoche is explaining it, you know, that we are not asking the enlightened beings or not telling them what to do, but that we actually only remember that they look at us with compassion and wisdom, you know, so they actually don't need to change or do anything, but it's just us opening up to the truth, you know, that they are caring for us, you know, and we are making ourselves susceptible for the blessings. Yeah. Okay, before we go into further verses, is there anything else anyone wants to discuss? Okay, then I think, Maite, the next lines are yours, right?
So again, I'm going to share another, I will share this, wait. Can you see my screen? Yeah, I think so. All right. So the next section of the prayer, it is the entire path, basically. That's why this prayer is really amazing. It's really complete and like really, I mean, it's very brief, but it is actually super profound. Anyway, so then here starts the whole, like each line is referring in a way to, as Dr. Rinpoche, again, we refer to the blessings of the lineage, right? As Dr. Rinpoche explained in his teachings, this next section is in a way like the whole outline or even the essence of the Lamdra teachings. So that's why, first of all, I will introduce very briefly these Lamdra teachings, which I'm myself, I'm mostly like my education in the Dharma is mostly in the Kagyu tradition. But well, for this very brief introduction, I think I can do it. So then for the Lamdre, Lamdre is mostly derived from the Hebagla root tantra, and is kind of a Lamdrin, so to say, text, but in the tantra tradition, not only the sutra or the sutra view, but it includes sutra view and also the tantra view. So the root text comes from Virupa, the Virupa's Bhagavad text, verses, which were in Sanskrit actually, and then it was translated into Tibetan. But the root text of Virupa is very cryptical and very condensed, as you know, it happens in the Sanskrit text, and the Bhagavad verses, they're very condensed, very difficult to understand. So then that's why there are multiple commentaries on this text by all of the different masters of the lineage. We have, I think, up to 11 commentaries, I believe, from Sachen Kunga Nyingpo that we have seen earlier. Also some commentaries by Chesun Dragpo Gyaltsen, some commentaries from Lama Sonam Gyaltsen, as well as one commentary from Ngorchen Koncho Lundrup and some others. So it is actually a very rich tradition, and there are plenty of commentaries, lots of material, and all of them are kind of based in Hebagla Tantra, but it doesn't mean that it's only Hebagla Tantra. It can be applied to all of the different deities in terms of the Tantra, right? But then the main thing that we need to understand in the Lamdra teachings is that there are like two divisions, mostly, which in Tibetan is called Nangwa Thum Dan, Gyu Thum in Tibetan, which is in English, but could be translated as the three visions or three perceptions as well, and then the three tantras. So the three visions is like the ngondro, is like the preliminary part for the practice in a way. And then the gyusum is like the tantra is like the main practice, right? So the three visions is the impure vision, the vision of experience, and the pure vision. So this refers to actually the perception of impure vision is basically the perception of sentient beings. And then the vision of experience is the perception of the practitioners and the meditators. And then the pure vision is the vision of the perception of Buddhas. And this is what is going to be mentioned in the prayer. We will say it now. And then the triple tantra, which is the main practice, is ground, path, and result. So now I will explain a little bit the section which corresponds with the three visions, and Arne will explain the lines which are corresponding to the triple tantra. So in the root treatise of the Bhagavad verses, states the three visions in this way. For sentient beings with the afflictions is the impure vision. For the meditator with transic absorption is the vision of experience. For the ornamental wheel of the Sugatas, inexhaustible enlightened body, voice, and mind is the pure vision. So it's like the vision of sentient beings, a practitioner, bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas, right? So then when we go to the prayer, first of all, I'm gonna go back to the prayer and then I will say this. Can you say the prayer? Or maybe let me see. Okay, wait. No. Sorry. Are you saying the prayer? Yes. I think so. Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then I will briefly explain this. So then it says, may I and all sentient beings as infinite as a space in this life, the next, and in the intermediate state be held by your inseparable great compassion. So first, may and all sentient beings as infinities, as infinite as a space. So it is said in the Bhattacharya, in the Sancho Molan, the prayer, the king of prayers, as far as the limit of space, so is the limit of sentient beings. So basically, limitless sentient beings, not only human beings, but all kinds of beings, animals, spirits, gods, and so on, right? So may all me, not only me, but all sentient beings in this life, the next future lives, and the intermediate state is the border, right? Like this intermediate state between this life and the next life, be held by your compassion. So we're still kind of addressing ourselves to the teachers and the masters of the lineage, as well as the three jewels and the three roots, right? We are praying to them. And then now we are asking for their blessings. Okay, now we have invoked you. Now please bless me. How are you going to bless me? So then it comes the next line, the first one. And this it reads, grant your blessings so that renunciation grow within us. So this is related to the first, like in the three visions, to the impure vision. So if we are ordinary beings, our perception is ordinary, and therefore the first step we need to practice is renunciation, is to practice renunciation. How do we practice renunciation? Through the four how it is called, the four thoughts that reverse the mind or turn the mind to the Dharma, right? Which is reflecting upon the suffering, reflecting upon the precious human existence, reflecting upon impermanence, as well as reflecting upon karma in terms of virtuous and non-virtuous actions and their results of these actions, right? So that is what we are praying for here. Like, please bless me, like now that you're all there, we invoke you, ground your blessings so that renunciation grows within us. So that's the first, referring to the first training of the impure vision. And then it continues with I want to make it brief. I continues next line, grant your blessings so that we accomplish the bodhicitta of aspiration and application. So here is referring to the vision of experience. This is the training of the bodhisattva, right? And then, so here it's mentioning the two bodhicittas, aspiration and application. And in this training, it comes like the training on cultivating loving kindness, desiring all sentient beings to be happy, cultivating compassion, desiring all sentient beings to be free of suffering, and then cultivating bodhicitta in the two aspects of the bodhicitta, right? Which is the bodhicitta of aspiration, which is basically the intention to achieve awakening for all sentient beings, meaning like the wisdom to attain the result of awakening for the benefit of sentient beings, and then the bodhicitta of application, which is basically the application, as it is said, the action taken to achieve that, which is the practice itself. So that is the training in the path of the 6 paramitas, right? And what are the 6 paramitas? Most of you already know: the generosity, discipline or moral conduct, patience, diligence or effort, meditation, and wisdom, right? So through the 6 paramitas, that is the application, the bodhicitta of application. So that is what we are asking there, right? Like, grant your blessings so that we accomplish we train even. We train, we accomplish the bodhicitta of aspiration and application. And then finally, the last line here related to the 3 visions is grant your blessings so that we realize the view free of conceptual elaborations. So this is also actually referring to the vision of experience. In this case, it is referring to the ultimate bodhicitta. Is referring to the aspect of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is in terms of practice, it is referring to sine, calm abiding, and lacton, insight wisdom. So here, grant your blessing so that we realize the view free of conceptual elaboration. So this is basically talking about the emptiness, basically, right? Like, may we realize emptiness. And then this is Dr. Rinpoche mentioned it as the wisdom of the prasna paramita. So it's basically the understanding of emptiness, and this is so vast, like with it can go up to the whole Maria Mika explanation of Maria Mika and so on, but basically free of the conceptual elaboration and extremes of existent, non-existent, subject and object and so on. Anyway, like the understanding of emptiness. So I will read one, and this is through the like the method for to realize this is through Sine, calm abiding, or samatha in Sanskrit, and Lakton, the insight, right? So then I will read something from Nagarjuna, who explained this ultimate bodhicitta that says the enlightenment thought of the Buddhas, or the ultimate bodhicitta of the Buddhas, which is not obscured by conceptualizations of self, of aggregates, and of self-knowing consciousness, is explained to have the defining characteristic of emptiness always. So that's what we are praying for. We are praying to be able to realize emptiness, and through calm abiding or one-pointedness, concentrated mind, and the insight wisdom, which is the perfect realization of the nature of phenomena. So that is up to this point. It is referring to the three visions, and then I am handing it over to Arne, and from this point it will come the explanation of the three tantras.
Thank you. Before we go there, is there anything anyone wants to discuss on this part that Maite just presented? I saw somebody in the audience who's, I think, also a little bit Gelug orientated. And yeah, so this is basically what Tsongkhapa calls the three principles of the path, like renunciation, bodhicitta, and then the wisdom, and they really prepare our mind to what is coming then, the Vajrayana things.
Yeah, that's right. I think it can be, it can be seen from all angles, I think.
Yeah.
Like as you say, Lamson Namson, the three principal aspects of the path, which are, as you said, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the Jandapitawa, the authentic view, the pure view. But then presented in the second tradition, it may take another angle.
Yeah.
And, in every tradition present this in maybe in a different way, but it's all the same essence.
Yeah. Okay, then I will continue. So really based on what the essence that Maite was just presenting, this renunciation, this bodhicitta, and then this vast view of emptiness, then we are sort of ready to enter the Vajrayana journey. And remember the one slide Maite shared about the three tantras, like ground, path, and fruit, which also means like a view, path, and fruit or result. So here we are really, if we go into Vajrayana, then one important, maybe unshare, one important thing is that the ground, how the truth, how things are, is how things are, and the fruit is not something else, but is realizing that ground, So that is, I think, an important part in Vajrayana, and we are also not practicing a path or a practice that is very different from the result, and is just a cause for a result to come later. But in Vajrayana, it's called resultant path, because we already bring the result that we want to achieve on the path. So I guess only there it applies like the path is the goal, because in Sutrayana, it's not. The path is the cause. Anyway, so but that is the basic idea, that let's say our nature of mind or Buddha nature is there now. It is continuously there throughout the path, and it's realized on the level of the result. So it's not a journey from A to B, but it's more from A to A, basically, And how to do that? First, we need, and I'm sharing this now, we need to enter, the Vajrayana. And this we do through the 4 empowerments. So we're asking for the blessings that these 4 empowerments ripen our minds. You know, they're called ripening empowerments. So we receive the 4 empowerments from an authentic master who knows what she or he is doing and is then transmitting them. And yeah, that is the entry point to Vajrayana, and that will ripen our mind, ideally. And I'm sure you have heard the vase empowerment, which is more, let's say, yeah, this is dealing with more the solid or physical stuff. You know, it is about negative actions of the body. You know, it's about realizing the Vajra body. It is purifying the nadis, the channels. You know, who are also within the subtle body are the most solid things. You know, and then it's about generation phase, you know, where we also visualize appearance, you know, pure appearance. And we are also ideally ripening or manifesting the Nirmana Kaya, which is also the most physical or solid Kaya, you know, of the Kayas. And then the next one of the 4 is the secret empowerment. So now we are getting a little bit more subtle. It's more speech, you know, which is like a in between body and mind, because we need both coming together. So negativities from the speech are purified. Vajra speech, you know, the enlightened speech is hopefully manifesting. Prana, you know, the inner winds are unblocked. And then we are able, yeah, we're doing mantra recitation also in that context. And we are manifesting the Sambhoga Kaya, you know, a little bit more, it's still physical, but more subtle. Next one, wisdom empowerment, that is really on the mind level. So we are getting more subtle. Negative tendencies of the mind are purified. The Vajra mind is hopefully activated, you know, the enlightened mind. The bindus are purified, which are the most subtle of the subtle substances. And yeah, and the Dharmakaya is, yeah, realized. And then the last one is, yeah, beyond all of that, the 4th empowerment is then the word empowerment, or sometimes just called 4th empowerment, where, yeah, then all, you know, like all 3, you know, body, speech, and mind are purified, and Vajra wisdom is actualized, you know. And then we have like the essence body, or the Svabhavika Kaya, you know, that we manifest, which is, yeah, differently explained, but could also just mean that the union of the previous 3 Kayas. So that is often how these 4 empowerments are explained. They're basically like a introduction or empowerment from the more outer physical level to the most subtle level of our being, so that we are working, completing, ripening, purifying all these levels. Then we need friends on the path, and these friends are our samayas and vows. So we are asking for the blessing that we keep the samayas and our vows. That is, and yeah, what kind of samayas or vows, that always depends on the empowerment or the tantra class also, you know. It's like outer tantra class or Anuttara yoga tantra class. And then there are a couple, they're very different vows, but very often, you know, that it is including, you know, that we are vowing to have the view straight, you know, that we are not discarding the view. Because the view is what Buddha taught. Or the view is what Buddha realized and then taught, and what the practitioners want to realize. And often also included in those Samaya collections, yeah, that we respect the masters, you know, and that we never forget sentient beings, you know. And also very often vows that are about not revealing secrets, you know, to those who are unqualified, because that might confuse them or overwhelm them, you know, and also it takes away sometimes the blessing or the strength, you know, if everything is randomly shared. So that is more the entry. And then we come to the ground or the view, you know, what is really to be realized, what is the nature of things. And here, German Council Bangpo is asking us to ask for the blessings so that we realize the indivisibility of samsara and nirvana. So that is, of course, alone a huge topic. But based on what how Maite concluded her part, you know, wisdom, emptiness, how was it called? Maybe something with non-referential. Oh yeah, here, no concepts. So that is basically what the nature of both samsara and nirvana is, right? It's emptiness, you know. But then, yeah, not seeing that is delusion, and that brings about suffering. And seeing it as it is, yeah, is undiluted and is therefore not suffering, you know. So that's basically, yeah, two different waves of the same ocean of emptiness, you know. So that is really the view, what we keep, you know. So whatever, yeah, whatever is happening, you know, is either in samsara or nirvana, but it's always by nature empty. It's like there's one taste, and you cannot really separate them because they're coming from the same origin, you know. Also, when we do the, you know, during eclipse, we do the Buddha Samantabhadra prayer, right? There's also the same, you know, like one ground, you know, and then two paths, two results, you know. So we can walk the samsaric path because we are so used to it and it looks so good. I mean, because, yeah, because we know it. But then there's also another option, you know. Then let's go to the path. So what to do, you know, so that we are not walking samsarically, but that we are walking away from samsara or towards the real nature of things. Then the path consists of two stages, Kyerem and Sokrim. So the generation stage and the completion stage, right? So the generation stage, yeah, we know that from all sadhanas, you know, it's, yes, it's a little bit contrived, you know, we are visualized, we make an effort, we are doing something, you know, based on the view, yeah, we're creating the deity, you know, mentally, the mandala, the retinue, and all that. And that also involves shamatha and resting, karma abiding, and by that, ideally, we are ripening into the completion stage, where then we do more, where the practice is more uncontrived, ideally, where we either just rest in the nature of mind, you know, we have received Lamje, Mahamudra, Dzogchen teachings, or there are also like more elaborate activities, you know, like where we maybe practice tumo, or we work with our subtle body, you know, with channels, pranas, and bindus. And then, ideally, the result, you know, we talked about ground path result. So result is, as I said, that we realize the ground, you know, so we are not suddenly ending up somewhere else, but we are coming home to what we really are, and that are, yeah, we call it Buddha nature, we call it nature of mind, we call it kayas and wisdoms, you know, and then that implies that we have attained omniscience, you know, that is the result. So we know how things appear and how things are, you know, in reality. And then based on that result, we are able, what is the word? We unlock Buddha qualities, you know, and then we can perform Buddha activities. That is the ideal path or ground path and result. And that is how the Sublime Dharma is teaching it. I'm talking already about this, the next one. But unfortunately, there might be hindrances, you know, so that we are not really doing it as ideally as Maite and I were yeah, explaining based on Khyentse Wangpo's text. So yeah, even though the Dharma itself, is like uncorruptible and sublime, from our side, we might have many clouds in between, or hindrances, and that could be, yeah, outer ones, like whatever, illnesses, poverty, governmental problems, or inner ones, here inner ones, maybe emotional resistances, ego-centerednesses, and more secret hindrances, maybe karmic obscurations or subtle blocks and so on. So we wish that we are free from those, so that we really see the Dharma, practice the Dharma, embody the Dharma. And that then we wish that we have only favorable conditions, that are supportive. Because even though we have the cause, let's say the Buddha nature, it needs also the condition, to see it. And so we conclude, or Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo concludes, that all be auspicious for accomplishing the twofold aim, the benefit of myself and others. Remember, and I said in the fruit, we want to, the fruit means the kayas and wisdoms, and then the Buddha qualities and activities. So the kayas here can be easily related, and the wisdoms also to the twofold aim, right? We realize the Dharmakaya, which is for our own benefit, that we are Buddhas. We manifest the Rupakaya based on the Dharmakaya, which is for the benefit of the audience, for others to benefit them. So this is what we wish for always, in Mahayana Buddhism. We always, we do the whole journey to be able to benefit others better. Okay, that's from my side.
And I also would add there that the attainment of omniscience and this attainment of Buddhahood and the benefit of oneself and others is the pure vision. So the three visions, that is actually like the vision or the perception of the Buddha. So basically, once you attain Buddhahood, then you have this pure vision. So that's also related to the three visions.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to discuss?
There was a question in the chat, Arne.
May I ask if there are any treasure revealers among the great masters of the Sakya tradition other than Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo? To me, first session Konga Lingpo comes into mind, like how he received sort of the parting from the four attachments. One could say it is like a pure vision terma that he received. I don't know, Maite, do you have some ideas?
I actually don't know. Like I know Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo is considered terton, but other than that, I have no knowledge.
But it's definitely more like a Nyingma.
Yeah,
hobby is the wrong word, right? Activity.
I remember some discussions in our classes at the Ranjin Jesa Institute about, but as I said, my knowledge on the Sakya tradition is limited, so I don't really know about that.
Yeah, but I think really like they're like when we look into Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, right? We have the 7 transmissions, and one is definitely the pure vision, and that is what many Sakya masters did. Also how they related to teachings by Virupa. Like centuries later. They had pure visions. Yeah. Oh, there's a question for Maite in the chat.
I'm wondering, like, what I think this is coming from Swan. What do you mean?
If I might just follow up a little bit. You were referring to how closely you were able to work also with Lineage Master and others. And was there, and obviously you're such an accomplished and experienced translator. I'm just wondering whether there was something specifically with this text where, you know, there was one or the other term where it was so new that it would mean this and not something else, and possibly, you know, thereby create a new sight into this. You've repeatedly said how tremendously profound and dense this text is. And yeah, if there's anything that comes to mind, I'd love for you to share it.
Yeah. Well, it happens so many times actually that I misinterpret the text, and then the lamas come and then tell me, no, you're not getting it, you're not getting the point. That I cannot remember all of them, but yeah, definitely in this text, like with the teachers, that was a challenging part. With the names of the teachers, I really needed the help of well, in this case, Kempo Choyin, and also my very good friend Damucho Gyaltsen. I needed the help of them to you know, to get to the names of the teachers, and then I cannot remember right now any other term, but it happens many times. I mean, I cannot remember right now like a specific example in this text, because actually this text is so clear. I mean, the kind of the terminology is very clear, but then it's amazing. It's like when you're going deep in the ocean and then you see how vast and deep it is. So, but yeah, sorry, I don't remember any particular instance that I can share with you right now. But as you can see, like as you read the text, you know, first you do, like in the translation, there's also a process of first you do like a draft translation, which is full of mistakes. Then it comes the, you know, like the, you know, Kempuche, and then you ask for all the questions. Then they clarify all the questions. Then the reviewer, like Jemmy, he was actually very good. And then, you know, like there are like some doubts, you know, and then is this exactly the point? Like, and then you have to correct it. So then you have to be accurate, more and more accurate. So there's a whole process in the translation as well to refine the meaning.
That's beautiful. Thanks so much. And thank you really for pointing out that, you know, so much is also the names. And really thank you also for taking the time to briefly present that. That's tremendously helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? I was Googling in the meantime a little bit about Sakya Turtons, but I really couldn't find, you know, like there's the Dalai Lama, the fifth Dalai Lama, you know, who was not Nyingma, as a little bit as an exception. And yeah, he is also more classified in yeah, having pure vision kind of term. So. But the rest is all Nyingma, you know, the big ones.
Sorry, Arne, to butt in there. Did I misunderstand Tulku in the teaching that he was? I understood it such that he was kind of claiming that, yeah, Turtons and Sakya didn't exactly vibe or mix, yeah, or it wasn't. It was kind of frowned upon to be a Turton if you were within the Sakya tradition. That's at least how I heard it.
Yeah, some Sakyas think like that, yeah, because it looks like too new agey, you know, if you don't have a lineage, you just sit in California at the beach and then bang, that is my revelation, you know. So yeah, it is questionable, you know, the authority of it. But that is a Sakya thing, which is sometimes a little bit polemic against the Nyingmas, you know. So that's why yeah. Let's not take that for the definite meaning, you know, but it is a view of some people, yes. Yeah, Anila, good to see you.
Hello, nice to be with you. Very nice teaching. Thank you so much. Very inspiring and touching. Thank you. So I was just wondering, because in the Longinitic, there's mentioned about the 4 visions, and it comes at several places. So I was just wondering how it is related to the 3 visions here in this tradition, in the Lamdre.
Do you know what is the term in Tibetan for the 4 visions? Because like that sometimes it might be translated as vision, but we need the term in Tibetan. Let me. I mean, I need to look for it very quickly. But
Is Nangpashi? Nangwashi?
Nampa or Nawa? Nangwa?
I think Nangwa, the 4 visions of Turkey, no?
Nangwasi.
Yeah, Nangwashi.
Yeah, because I don't really know. Wait.
But that is high Dzogchen stuff. Are you talking about that, Anila? Well, then Maite can deal with that. I'm not paid for that kind of thing.
Nangwasi. Okay, the 4 appearances, Dzogchen in Dzogchen. Yeah, I mean, I cannot talk about this without knowing. Like, I don't dare to make an improvisation on this when I don't really know. I cannot pretend to know when I don't know. But in the what I can say is what I recently learned actually from the Sakya tradition, because my background in the Dharma is mostly Kayuba, right? But for this text, I was actually getting some introduction in the Sakya lineage. So then I learned about this Nangwa Sum. So it is this Nangwa Sum in Tibetan, what is Madakpa in Nangwa, so the impure vision, which is like basically the perception of ordinary beings. And then Nyamgi Nangwa, so it's the vision of experience, referring to the experience of the bodhisattvas and the experience of the practice and the meditation. And that's why it's also referred to as the transic meditation, or like it's basically the practice of the bodhisattvas and the experience from the meditation. And then Dakpa in Nangwa. So Dakpa in Nangwa is referring to the Buddha's body, speech, and mind. But other than that, the relationship with the Nangwa Si that I can see here, the 4 visions of the 4 visionary appearances, since I don't know about it, I prefer not just jump into something that I don't know.
Yeah, the 4 visions are really like in Dzogchen practice, what we sort of see, quote unquote. But yeah, that is not related to the 3, but it would be basically in the second vision, like it's an experience or what we have. But these 3 visions in Sakya, we find that a lot in Maitreya's Uttaratantra Shastra, because I think, Anila, you know this text quite well, the Buddha nature text. Maitreya is often talking about impure beings, half pure, half impure, and pure beings. So it's exactly that, like samsaric bodhisattvas and Buddhas, So a lot of explanations are on what they perceive and what they have to purify or not. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's more like a preliminary, right? It's not like it just popped up because I've heard that the Lamdre is like the highest teachings of in the Sakya tradition. So I thought probably there's a relation. Thank you so much.
But yeah, what Khenpo Choyin explained to me with the Nangwasung, the 3 visions, is as you mentioned, preliminary practice, like the preliminary section. I mean, apart from the pure vision, actually is the result, as we were seeing.
Okay, Maite, what do you think? Shall we contemplatively go through the text in order not to torture people for too long?
Let's meditate. Yes, let's go to the juicy part.
Okay, you start, right?
Yeah. So, do you want to share the screen with the prayer? So then shall I? Okay. So now we are going to meditate. I will read the first part, and Arne will read the last section of the text. But then now we are going to enter in a kind of meditative state. So let's all kind of rest for a few seconds in a meditative state. So then we can do the practice all together and kind of taste the flavor of this practice. So we can breathe all together. The three jewels, unfailing heart essence of refuge, the Guru, Jidam, Dakini and Dharma protectors, Sakya Pandita, emanation of Manju Gotsa, Morten Bhagratara, protector of the world, Lord of the Dharma, Sarchen, sovereign holder of secrets, Tarse Bhagratara, protector of the mandala, Yamyan, Lama, Kintewampo, and so on. The entire assembly of the ocean of refuge, the three jewels. I call to you from the depths of my heart. Please look upon me, upon us, with your eyes of wisdom. So we, for a few instants, let's visualize in front of us in the space, the entire mandala, the whole, like all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha are present in front of us in the space. The three roots, lamas, jitams, the kinis, Dharma protectors, Dharmapalas, and so on. They are all in front of us in the space. And all of these teachers of the lineage for Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, very important in the path of blessings. Sachen Kunga Nyingbo, Sakya Pandita, Ngorten Bhagratara, the Lord of the Dharma, Sarchen Bhagratara, Tarse Bhagratara, the two Tarse brothers, all of them, they are in front of us in this space. And we think that we are praying to them, invoking them. They're really present, and we are invoking them and asking them to please look upon us. So let's visualize like that for a few instants. Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo himself is also there. And once we kind of connect with that, then we continue. We are talking to them. They're really present. May I and all sentient beings, as infinite as a space. So for one moment, we visualize that we are not alone. It's all sentient beings, human beings, animals, spirits, gods, semi-gods, hell beings, all sentient beings, as infinite as a space, are also present. So may I and all sentient beings, as infinite as a space, in this life, in the next life, and in the intermediate state, be held by your inseparable great compassion. And once we're making this request from our heart, then we ask them for their blessings. Like this is the Guru devotion, right? Like, so then we ask for the blessings. Please grant your blessings so that renunciation grows within us. And for a few seconds, we reflect on the suffering of sentient beings, of samsara, the suffering of samsara, impermanence, the precious human life, the law of karma, cause and effect. And then we continue, grant your blessings so that we accomplish the bodhicitta of aspiration and application. So then for an instant, also we give rise to love, loving kindness, thought. May all sentient beings be happy, and compassion. May all sentient beings be free of suffering. And bodhicitta, May we attain Buddhahood, bodhicittas of aspiration. May we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of sentient beings. And then we kind of take the commitment to apply ourselves into the bodhicitta of application with the practice of the 6 paramitas. And then finally, for the ultimate bodhicitta, grant your blessings so that we realize the view free of conceptual elaboration. And then we rest for a few seconds in the contemplating that there is no self, that self is a mere concept. And then we give rise to the wish to realize this, the lack of true existence, the selflessness of oneself, of individuals and phenomena. So self is a mere imputation. And I hand it over Arne.
Okay. Yeah, please stay sort of in that open spaciousness, free of reference points, but also full of love and compassion, right? The bodhicitta is still there. So please stay in that, in union. Because that makes our mind like the perfect vessel to then ask for the following blessings. Grant your blessings so that the 4 empowerments ripen our minds. Grant your blessings so that we keep our samayas and vows pure. Yeah, so stay in this one ground, this open spaciousness or open awareness, which is like pre-samsara and pre-nirvana. And then, out of this vast expanse now, we create pure appearance. We create ourselves and others as the deity and everything as the mandala. Grant your blessing so that we attain the vivid presence of the generation stage. Usually the whole sadhana would be there, whatever we practice, and then in the end, we again dissolve the visualization in the completion stage, and then rest again in this open spaciousness. Grant your blessings so that the primordial wisdom of the completion stage arises. And then that is not just this open spaciousness is not just an empty void, but it's full of wisdom, omniscience, full of love, compassion, Buddha qualities, Buddha activities. So we are asking for the blessings that we attain that very swiftly. Grant your blessings so that we quickly attain omniscience. And until then, we are doing the following prayer so that our path will be smooth and successful. In the meantime, my obstacles to practicing the sublime Dharma and all outer, inner, and secret adversities be purified and pacified. Through the abundance of favorable conditions, let all be auspicious for accomplishing the twofold aim, the benefit of myself and others. Yeah, really have that as your one single motivation from morning through the day till evening, through the night. This is what we aim for. We want to benefit others. And in order to do so, let's get out of samsara as well. Okay. I guess that's it. Is there anything concluding you want to say, Maite?
No.
You don't have to.
Only thank you. That's the best conclusion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining, your interactiveness. And thank you, Maite, for translating so wonderfully and being here with us today and sharing your love and your wisdom. And then let's dedicate whatever positive came out of today, to please dedicate that to all sentient beings, because people are suffering. And please also include the bad ones, who inflict harm to others, all the bad dictators and presidents, they need our love and compassion and merit even more. By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing, from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of samsara, may all beings be free. Lord of the ocean of teachings in Tibet without bias, universal monarch of 7 wondrous transmissions, Jamyen Khyentse Wangpo, Manyogosha in person, may all be auspicious for a lineage to spread and flourish. As long as space remains, as long as the world remains, may I too remain to elevate the suffering of the world. Okay, thank you so much. Also, thank you to our background queens, Ina and Rashmi, who help a lot to make these kind of events possible. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Be healthy and happy. Bye-bye.
Gracias.